would have had you have this interface. Can I double check people are close? Adobe, is it still taking time to update for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll let it update. And whilst that is sorting out, whilst you're sorting that out, I will share the very last link I shared with the class, which was the getting started link. And if people are behind and they really want to catch up, you can simply send them this link and they should be able to catch up by themselves without you having to walk them through it. I personally like this because I think it's sort of kind of concise to work through things. And this was the link that I think Eddie opened earlier. So we've gone through the before you start phase in terms of what it's about and other things, downloading it. And there's just some video recordings that give you some form of introductory tutorial to it. And again, I was going to do something unconventional than things that I normally do, which is I'll walk you through it and other things. I was going to let other people talk to you rather, so you walk through with them. Hopefully you can see my screen. Can you see my screen though? Can you see my screen? Can anybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
So are you happy for me to continue?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to wait a bit? Are you happy for me to continue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll jump straight to the watch the tutorial bit. I'm using Mac, you're using Windows. The interface may be slightly different. I'm gonna start off with a Mac version. Is anybody here using Mac? I know Zach uses Mac, but he's not following along. Does anybody use Mac?
No,
Reference to the last session when we were talking, and actually I think we were talking about how we analyze qualitative data, and then Ayo mentioned something along the lines of you can do the interviews or collect the open-ended questions, and you can export it to a software like Excel. I think he mentioned Excel, and then you can use it to group textual content or move things around and other stuff. So pretty much those kind of things. And then we're thinking, okay, is there software that's been optimized for qualitative analysis that will help us do a thematic analysis, code the data, and then we can actually work with. So in that sense, we've got this software, Nvivo, we've got a license to it, and we want to see what kind of features that it allow us to use. It's quite similar to that idea that we shared in class. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's a lot easier way to approach things. So I'm aware of time, but what I would do is I will play this video so you can use it to configure your software. You can walk through the stages. You can ask me to pause so that you walk through it. I mean, I've got a setup and everything. It's just pretty much the same step-by-step way of doing things. And I've got Mac version, so I'll be using Mac version on my side as well. I've also done fresh installation on this machine, but I have it on a different machine that I'm working with. Sorry about that. I'll move it. Just bear with me. So I think the whole idea is that, I mean, if you had data printed out, I know someone is, please, if you are planning to just use paper for collecting your questionnaires and other things, I don't know, for me, I'm not sure whether that would be ideal for the time frame that you have. You may want to use Google Forms and then just send it out to people, and you can chase them up for them to do it. You can still use Google Forms, approach people, and then they will just complete them and give it to you. So I mean, ideally, the whole idea is that you may have the data that you have collected, and you may want to make or pick the things that have common themes and then group them under certain codes that you have, which is some of the like the process that we talked through last week. And we have seen from this video that this sort of the tool that this particular software offers us. So the key thing is, how do we get started with using the software? You have it installed at your side, and I would expect that you walk through it as we go alongside this. So this more how to do with creating a video and other things. There are bits that it will ask you to maybe it would expect you to have the data to use. In your case, just use any Word document that you have. Just save a copy of that Word document. You can use an assignment so that you have or something, and you can use it sort of just kind of just to have the experience of creating the thematic analysis or doing the coding and other stuff. So I'll get started and we'll carry on. All right, so working with a new document, yours may be different. For Zach and I, we have this interface. You may be having the same interface as me as well. So pretty much you click new project and then you give it your project name. In my case, I don't know what I want to be recording this, but let's call it BAME project or award gap project. You call yours something that makes sense to you, but because of the data I will be working with, I'll call it that. And so that's it, creative for me. It gives me this interface. At the moment, I've not imported anything into this document. So it would expect that maybe I have some data to work with. This is why I said you can work with your own notes or files, but definitely you'll come to this stage. You don't have to use these two, but you come to this stage when after you have collected your data, then you'll be importing the data. So the question is, how then do you import data, which is the step, the next step that we'll be working towards. I'll pause it here. Can I double check